Hey, hello, this is Hans from Request for Music, and another update that I have is for the sequencer. So let's take the sequencer out, put it on F slash or F underscore, sorry, so that I know that I can find all of my modules from the F bundle, FSyn bundle. And there's a slight change in there because it already had inputs here on the top, but the input for the gate was on a slightly different point. And there's a switch in there that you can use to make it behave differently. So normally what you had was that we have the sequencer, and obviously if I take this out into a VCO, let's take the VCO, take a filter, take an ADSR, and let's put everything on the left. And I'll take this sequence I'll take the gate out into my ADSR, so I can use the envelope that comes out of the ADSR into my VCF, and the VCF itself will get its signal from the VCO, so I take the input out in from the VCF and take that to the output of the VCO, and I use my external for my VCO, my external input, to drive it with the pitch from the sequencer, and then in the end obviously I need to take the output of the filter and put that into my main outs to get overall signal anyway. So this should be everything that I can use to drive that. So that means that as soon as I play that sequencer, and let me put it slightly slower than this, I'll get that sound off, and I'll put a sawtooth in here, and I can drive that obviously by using my envelope, and in the filter itself I could decide to do that positive like this or negative, but then if I do that negative, then obviously I have to take the filter cutoff frequency up, because otherwise it doesn't do that much really. So in this case, if I change this, I get a different kind of swelling sound than if I go the other way around by driving it open like this. So this is okay and fine. I'll put the speed a bit slower. And actually what I do quite often is drive one sequencer from another. So if I if I just copy this one over to, oops, wrong button, copy this over to the right there, I could actually take the gate input, because if I do this, if I take the gate output of this, then those 8 steps, and let me reset this one, and I'll put that one in play. Because there's an input in there, it doesn't start to run straight away, but as soon as I run this, you'll see that they are sort of interconnected, and they both run. I should actually reset both of them normally to make sure that they run in sync. And that's okay as well. So that means that this one is driving that gate at a specific speed. But the advantage of using that gate in is that it gets its gate from some point. And the first change that I created for the sequencer was that not having the one gate output, but I could also have an accent gate out. So that means that if I just switch that on, because those little red things underneath the black knobs are sort of extra gates that I can take out. So that means that if I don't take the gate in here, but instead I'll take this out of the accent, now it's going to wait until that first step is going to be arrived, or it's going to arrive to that first step, and then going over to the next one. So that's a neat thing, of course. So that means that you can have a different sort of pitch or something to drive that with. So if I have some kind of a melody here, so let's put something in like an octave here, and speed this up. So it got something like this, and that's okay. So that's a nice baseline. But now I can actually use this if I connect the output for the pitch from this into my VCO as well, and so I'll take it into the external as well. I can actually change the pitch by taking these notes up now, and because it's driving it at a slower speed, it will add those notes. So and obviously I would actually have to reset those to make sure that it's running at the proper speed. So that's one of the use for this, but what I can also do is if I maybe it's even best to take another VCO out for that. Well, first of all, let's show it like this. I'm actually driving it this way now, and it's switching from every note dependent on this accent. If, on the other hand, I would use this as my main sequence, my main pitch sequence, and instead I just want to drive some extra short melody every time it reaches that first stop, it could actually do that by using this button, because then its speed is taken apart from this, so it's running at its full speed, but it only does that as soon as it reaches this first one. So instead of putting the pitch in, let's take the pitch into my timbre modulation, so it can drive my So now as soon as it starts here, you see that it's taken that sequence and it's using that to drive my filter now. So I could even speed this up, and let's and the this is now dependent on so you can get very complex sequences that way. So this one is driving that one, which is run in its full speed only once when it gets this step. So let's even take this a bit further. So I could take only those 3 notes out, for instance, and I could drive that each time it reaches such a step. So if I just take this in here, and then maybe 3 notes. So let's take the 4th one, because otherwise it keeps that sort of filter open. So yeah, that's an extra addition to what the sequencer could already do. So I think that might be nice, and you could actually start complete sequences that run in a lower tempo, and since this then what might possibly be lower as well, um, you could have an extra melody starting up at some point. I don't know if I have some ideas using that already. I'm not quite sure which one it has it in it. Sorry. I'll have to try that later. I think this might have it though. You hear that at some points, and I've got a couple of those sequencers in there, and you see that the switch is on this and on that, and on that even. So there's sort of this bass line playing around with accents going into the others, and you hear that melodies come in at different points. So obviously you have to really plan this kind of patches and think through what you want to do. But if you do, and if you get the result out of that, it really starts to shine. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you can do with the updated sequencer. It has to be approved still by Cherry Audio, but after that, it will be in the bundle for free if you have the bundle, and otherwise, give it a try. Run a demo on the FSyn bundle to show what it can do for you, and have fun with it. So, cheers and bye bye.